as the Democratic presidential contest starts to look like trench warfare, slogging on to the benefit apparently of neither candidate, as the Republican candidate wraps up his biographical Think of Me When You Think of War tour, sometimes it feels like someone's purposely trying to sap the fun out of what ought to be a rollicking good political time right now. In our third story on the countdown, the candidates remember we're actually supposed to like them. They try to put some humor back into the race. Last night it was Senator Hillary Clinton's turn on the Tonight Show. Her latest likability tour will also include yet another visit on Ellen to be broadcast Monday. Overall, I'm not sure how much we really need to personally like these candidates, but there's no lack of effort on their part. Senator John McCain also cracked wise on The Late Show this week. As for their material and their comic timing, you be the judge.
Good to see you.
Oh, it is so great to be here. You know, I was worried I wasn't going to make it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was pinned down by sniper fire.
Really? Right out here? You know, in L.A., that might be true, actually.
Oh, I know.
Obviously, a campaign is grueling, and you use the term sleep deprived. How much sleep do you get a night?
Not enough.
Answering the phone at 3 o'clock, that's got to be interrupted, too.
You know what? It happens every single night.
Yeah.
Somebody calls up, and they have something to say. Like, you've got to stop calling me.
I will do that. Well,
I'm here.
I want to ask you about Chelsea. I know as a parent, she's out there. Well, she said she thought you would be a better president than her dad.
Oh. You know, she's such a smart young woman.
You know who I like is that John McCain. Do you folks like John McCain? He looks like the guy at the hardware store who makes the keys. He looks like the guy who's always got wiry hair growing out of new places. He looks like the guy who points out the spots they missed at the car wash. Right over there.
Hey, Letterman.
Hi, how are you doing?
You think that stuff's pretty funny, don't you?
Yeah,
Well, you look like a guy whose laptop would be seized by the authorities.
What?
You look like a guy caught smuggling reptiles in his pants. You look like the guy who the neighbors later say he mostly kept to himself. You look like the night manager of a creepy motel.
Well, that's what I need.
And you look like the guy who enjoys getting into a hot tub and watching his swim trunks inflate.
Let's bring in Washington Post columnist and associate editor and MSNBC political analyst, Eugene Robinson. Hi, Gene. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you, Rachel. How are you?
I'm great. I'm spectacularly nervous, actually, but thank you for asking. Jokes about taking sniper fire on inflatable shorts, necessary, weird, or both?
Oh, both, I think. I mean, they're definitely weird, so therefore they must be necessary. I mean, you know, the sniper fire line of humor is really kind of odd, because why would she bring the subject up again and you know, make us talk about it yet another day? It must be that the Clinton campaign thought it was really a problem, and therefore they had to kind of try to soften it and make light of it. So, you know, that was a little odd. I thought McCain wasn't bad, actually. I mean, Letterman had been pounding him for days about, on the age issue, about which he's understandably a bit touchy. So, you know, I thought his timing was not bad. And of course, he had better lines, presumably written for him.
Yeah, very clearly written for him. I mean, on that issue, so much of the time that John McCain spent being self-deprecating is about his age. I think that's obvious. That's his strategy on dealing with the age issue, is that he's going to try to bring it up himself, try to make a joke about it. Do you think that doing the cranky grandpa routine that he's doing around age is his best strategy for dealing with that concern among voters?
You know, I think at some point you have to give it a rest. You can't keep doing it. Either if you don't come out with one great line the way Reagan did when age was the issue in his race, and then everybody said, oh, well, he dealt with it. If you don't kind of put it to bed that, with one zinger, I think, bringing it up again and again probably doesn't do you much good, might do you a little harm. It doesn't take the issue away. I don't think it's going to stop Letterman from making those old guy jokes.
Right.
So it's probably not going to help him a whole lot.
I do think that McCain probably was funnier. I didn't feel like this was Clinton's best comedic performance, but Barack Obama's no stranger to these either. And we've all seen them be funny and charming in person. Do you think there's real evidence that being funny, being personally likable, really boosts any candidate's numbers all that much? Is it all that important?
I think it actually is important, not necessarily being funny, but being likable these days does seem to matter. I mean, how many points do you think it cost John Kerry? Because some people, didn't see him as likable, and they saw George Bush as the guy you'd like to have that beer with, right? I mean, that's what they always say. You'd like to have a beer with him. I think it does matter, even though in the cosmic sense, Abraham Lincoln probably wasn't a guy you would like to have a beer with, but he was a pretty good president.
I think after Bush's second term, a lot of Americans probably think I'd probably still rather have a beer or a near beer with George Bush, but I sure wish we'd elected John Kerry.
I think a lot of people would even skip the beer at this point.
Yes, fair enough. Eugene Robinson of the Washington Post and MSNBC, thanks for your time tonight. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
When one of these presidential candidates stands on the steps of the U.S. Capitol in January 2009 and promises to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, what exactly is going to be left to uphold? And this is a surprise. Naomi Campbell arrested for fighting with a policeman. But she's normally so friendly and amiable. All that ahead on Countdown.